I do hope that our interview, because my aim is to encourage all artists of ballet to be creative and create new things, promote and help dancers.
Yeah.
This is the focus idea of our interview today. You know, I'm not doing this interview with you just to show that I'm brave or that I'm good enough. No, I'm just doing this interview with you because it must sound like a message to all artists to be creative and to battle for the art and the culture of tomorrow.
It's so lovely to meet you on Zoom. I mean, we've talked already on Facebook and it was and I follow your page that you have. It's so interesting that you have all these wonderful ballet photographs from the past.
So about the pictures about ballet, many of them are from Google.
Yeah.
And I have some as a collection that I kept from many years ago. But they are very nice. They are very nice photographs. And I'm just uploading this on the Ballet International in order to, to highlight the beautiful things about ballet.
Yeah. And it's also these old pictures also show a little bit of a different aspect of ballet, because what we see nowadays is also, ballet has evolved a lot. And I think we have to remember that it all started there, and that those years it was all about artistry and not so much about the physicality.
Yes, I agree with you, because at that time, what was highlighted the most was the expression of the face, the makeup, the costumes. The technique was very good, but of course it wasn't like today. But it was more on the expression. And if you take the old dancer of the old time, they didn't have this développé like the ballerinas of today, that the legs goes very up and with open back in arabesque or in attitude, or many pirouettes, many technical difficulties that we see today, which is really beautiful. But it was in a different mode, which was really beautiful. For that time, it was beautiful. For ours today, we see those old videos of the old ballerina, Tamara Katsarina, Pavlova, and some video also, they are like the old movie of Charlie Chaplin. They make you laugh because the movie production wasn't like today. The movie resolution wasn't like today. So you see the ballerina who's jumping all around, and but if you understand the idea of the ballet, that was the real pure of art, the essence of art of ballet. That brought us up to date. Because without that old dancers, we couldn't reach the ballet of today.
Yeah, but I spoke to a ballet dancer, Liliana Belfiore, from Argentina, and she used to dance in the 70s.
Yes.
And she actually mentioned something that I thought a lot about, and that is that those days it was about the whole dancer. It was the body, the soul, the heart. It was about the artistry, and in a way, sometimes that gets lost a little bit because the focus is now on, say, the feet of the dancer, or like you say, how high the leg can go, or and then it sort of takes away from these old ballets the real story, the real emotion behind the ballet, and that it becomes more of a sort of an athletic, movement.
Yes, well, it's today, let's say that ballet is very much mixed to contemporary, to gymnastic, to athleticism, and to Pilates.
Mhm.
So there are many things that are in the parallel line with ballet. And the ballet dancers today, they have a part of the bar and the center work they do and the rehearsals. They do also many other sort of training to keep their body into shape that the old ballet dancers were not doing. So I don't know if it's a good thing, but I'm afraid that this would bring to, I don't know, to a new style that maybe many of us of our generation will not understand, maybe in 2 decades, if we are still alive, maybe we will not accept it.
Yeah.
Maybe the new generation will get used to it, but our generation has already many difficulties to accept what they see today on the net.
Mm.
You see
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The technique has improved, but has also improved not in 100% in a good way. Because if all the technical things that are next to ballet would be so perfect, there wouldn't be so many dancers who have injuries.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And you have many injuries in ballet companies, dancers who have to stop and have to do rehabilitation because they have severe injuries. So this shouldn't exist with all the extra training they do beside ballet.
Yeah, that's actually true. But it's even interesting that dancers of today that I've spoken to, that's currently in ballet companies, say the same thing, that this pressure on them, that the pressure on the body, and that they would actually love to also be more dancing these classical ballets and ballets where it's really, it has to do with artistry and
Exactly.
storytelling and that emotion behind it. So I think there are also today dancers who would love to see that.
There are many dancers who would love to do the same repertoire of the old ballet.
Yeah. But Jean-Pierre, tell me now, you were a dancer as well, ballet dancer, and you're a teacher as well.
I have been an ex-professional ballet dancer, and I have been, and I'm still a ballet teacher.
Yeah. So, I
am a retired ballet teacher, and I teach occasionally when some schools or some other administration, they invite me. But now I'm just, have an extra work beside ballet, beside teaching. So I have also, that life for ballet dancers, for ballet artists is not always, you are not very always well off. So you have to do a lot of sacrifice, especially when you are retired, to keep up with your budget at the end of the month.
Oh, yeah.
So this is why I have been choosing another type of work, which is more administrative work, and I work with the computer and everything, in order that I can get some more money, because ballet doesn't pay you enough.
Yeah.
You see? If you have to teach in a ballet school, they will pay you per hour, or they will pay you maybe per month or per week, but the pay that you will get is not enough to pay the rent of the house, to pay to have all the expenses that you have in a normal life. So I have started my career as a professional in South Africa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And before that, I have been studying ballet with my mother. And then we left Northern Africa. We were in Egypt because, as you may know, my father was an ex-French diplomat.
Okay.
And he was working for the French consulate in Alexandria, Egypt. And he worked there for many years. And my mother was teaching at the Italian school. She was teaching ballet. She was teaching gymnastics. But I was a child. I wasn't even knowing what was ballet, what was art.
Yeah.
So then I started doing ballet with my mother. She had a private school, Then from the private school, she moved to the Conservatoire of Music of Alexandria, and she became director of the ballet section. And I studied there with my mother at least 8 years. Then we moved to Italy, and then in Italy I had to study with other teachers, and but it was completely different from my mother teaching.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't a different atmosphere, it was a different type of teaching. I wasn't prepared for the Europe teaching because the standard, my mother was teaching quite well, but the standard wasn't up to European standard, you know?
Oh, okay.
So I had to adapt myself to this new standard, to this new European standard, which was, for me, it was really very difficult to follow. And then after we were in Milan, in Italy, and from Milan we went to South Africa, and there I had the chance to start my career as a professional dancer. I was in junior corps de ballet, and I danced there for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
But I kept a wonderful, wonderful memory about this ballet company, which was, you know, a gift from God that I had.
Really?
Yes.
And what year was that?
That was, I arrived in South Africa in June 1980.
Yeah.
And then I left South Africa in 1982, in June.
Okay.
Because my father was transferred in Italy. And I also had to present myself for the military service France.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I had to leave the company. Unfortunately, when I arrived in France, they saw all the papers. They made all the, you know, the checkup, and they told me, we don't need you. It's not the right moment. So I said, wonderful. So I can go back to South Africa. But, you know, it was too late because South Africa, they already picked up other dancers. So I had to stay in Italy because my father was in Naples. And I started working for the Teatro San Carlo of Naples, which was a different type of atmosphere than the South African one. And a different style of work, different style of ballet, repertoire, and everything. And then I also meditated a lot. My first dream wasn't really the one of dancing, it was the one of teaching. But when I was very young. And but then I realized that from dancing to teaching, there was miles to go and to battle. And so we stayed in Naples for 5 years, and I danced also in France, in Bordeaux, and many other towns, in Lille, Roubaix. And I danced for Ballet du Nord, Arena Verona, many different, but always as corps de ballet. I never wanted to give me a chance to dance soloist role because I knew where were my limits. You see? And when I was on stage, I wasn't really happy with myself.
Oh, I see.
You see, I wasn't, it's like if you are wearing a pair of gloves that are too small, or you are wearing a pair of shoes that are too big. And ballet for me, when I was on stage, was the same feeling as the gloves and as the shoes. You see, I wasn't feeling comfortable on stage. And so I started teaching a little bit when I was in Italy. And then my father, one day, he come back from work and he said, I am transferred in Morocco.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I said to my mom and to my father, I said, okay, you go to Morocco, and I would like to go to England, to Royal Ballet, and have a diploma for teaching, because now I need a diploma for teaching. And my mother said, no, now it's too late. It's too late. You are not going to England alone. You are going to follow us in Morocco. So we have been discussing and arguing for at least 10 days, like, a cat and dog.
Yeah.
And I was trying to convince my parents to go to Morocco for a couple of months until I go to England and get my diploma, and then I can go to Morocco, follow them, and teach there. No ways. They didn't want. So it's a shame. And so I traveled with them. The next day we arrived in Agadir, the town of Agadir. My mother said, okay, I'm going to do some shopping. I said, okay, do you want me to come with you? No, 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 I will do my shopping alone. Don't worry. She comes back from the shopping. She didn't do any shopping. She went to the governorate and she talked to the governor of the town of Agadir. And she said, I'm proposing to open a ballet school. Would you give me the permission to do that? Or the
Wow. Mm.
And the governor said, yes, but just write down, something written, because your demand must be written, cannot be only by voice.
Yeah.
So my mother come back to home and she says, okay, Jean-Pierre, now go ahead, you write down the letter. And but at that time, computers were not existing.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to write everything by hand. It's about 8 pages with her curriculum vitae, my curriculum vitae, the demand and everything. Finally, I was exhausted, and the next day I go with my mother to the governor, and we present this letter. After 1 month, the governor, he gives us the okay, and we opened the ballet school, and we started working. We started working there, teaching there, and this was my first attempt of teaching. But I didn't have any idea how really to teach, because I didn't have any diploma, and I was also scared, to do mistakes. Because when you have a diploma, at least you have an idea how to teach.
Yeah.
So I had to create my own syllabus on the basis of what my teachers have been taught to me in the past. I think that was the best thing to do. And so in the beginning, I was experimenting, the ballet class without pushing too much on my students to see what effect could be without damaging my students also with the movements, you see. So I was going very slowly, and then I adapted myself to my own type of class, and then I have been adding again. And at that time, there wasn't any video about YouTube and how to get a class and everything. And this is how I started. But it was very difficult in the beginning, very, very difficult. And then I can say that the things went. We had about 150 students. So
but amazing that you did it yourself, that you figured out a way, because I think this is something also that I find interesting, how many artists go in do their own thing, that there's maybe not, like you said, there wasn't a possibility to go and study the teaching, but you figured it out yourself and you created your own syllabus. And I think in nowadays we don't give credit enough for people to do who does that, because it does take a lot of courage to do it, and you have to be a little bit brave to do that, to get the courage to just go for it.
Yes, well, I must tell you honestly that in my life, I always had a difficult type of life in everything I was doing. So I was always subjected to face new events every day, even in ballet or in my private life, in everything I was doing. And even in the moment where I lost my parents, I had to do everything on myself. Nobody was helping me. So that was the hardest part of the life. And as I said several times, life is the best university.
Yeah.
Because nobody is helping you. You have to learn how to do things alone.
Yeah.
How it goes, it goes. It goes bad, it goes bad. If it goes good, okay. But you have to learn how to do things alone.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, what is missing today in some young people, because some young people must learn how to do things alone. They
Mm.
have a lot of help. They are very brave. They work very well, but there is a little lack of experience of life. That is
Mm.
missing. But that they will get it every time they grow up. You see?
Yeah. Yeah. But it is also like in a ballet company, for example. This is also what I thought about. It's that you go for somebody who goes into the ballet world. You know, the child goes to a ballet school, and from the ballet school they go to, the ballet college or the upper
Yeah.
school, and then they go to a company, and then they stay in this company. So, but for musicians, almost, if I look at the musicians here in Vienna, they go to the music university, but from there, they have to figure it out themselves. They have to go out and create their own work. I mean, some of them go into orchestras, but the ones who go freelancing, they have to organize their own concerts. They have to create their own platforms.
Yes.
Whereas ballet, there is no opportunity like that. It's not really a form of art where a lot of people go freelancing. I mean, it's not that type of job that you can do.
Yes, well, unless you have a great chance to be freelance and you have already your own ballet school with
Oh yeah, yeah.
students. But otherwise, if you are freelance and you don't have a ballet school, it's very difficult to find work.
Mhm.
It's very difficult because also ballet or any other art form is very competitive.
Yeah.
And people in art are very selfish because they prefer to keep their own place in their own company and to not give the chance to freelance people. And
Mhm.
sometimes in freelance, you may find excellent teachers, excellent choreographers who are trying to emerge, but if the chance are not given to them, they will never do it.
Yeah.
So I think we must consider that today in the world because our modern world is suffocating a little bit the freelance.
Mhm.
They give a lot of chance to people who are in the company, but also the people who reach 40 years, 45, who must go, who must retire. Some of them, if the luckiest one, they can teach in the ballet company,
Yeah.
while some others have to quit the ballet company and they have to work on their own. But the ballet company, once the dancer has left the ballet, it's finished. They will not help him.
Mhm. Yeah. But now, tell me, you said that you are teaching also now freelance, or sort of.
I am teaching freelance.
Yeah.
I have been invited twice, but when you are invited, you have to give your class and keep your mouth shut. You cannot
Yeah.
you can correct, but it's not like if you are doing that in your own school
Yeah.
with your own students. Because
Mhm.
when you have your own students, you can say, no, this is wrong. You have to do it again and again and again and again. But when you are a guest teacher, you can say that maybe once and finish, and you have to, close one eye and forget about the rest. You
Yeah.
can you can encourage students. You can say, okay, instead of doing this, you can do that, but you cannot be too harsh, too severe, like if you are teaching your own ballet school.
Yeah. But what do you think should happen in the ballet world now? What do you think would be um, the change that needs to happen?
It's not only one change, there will be too many changes that many of us in ballet will have difficulties to follow. There are many challenges. You see, there has been a great challenge with the pandemic
Mm.
in the ballet world. Many dancers had to stop dancing or to stop their training. Many of them, when they returned to do their training in ballet companies, they had injuries. Ballet is evolving. It's producing new ballets. It's more demanding, but there will always be a new changement that is going to make a revolution in ballet, either on the technical path, on the financial path. Some ballet companies sometimes they have to close because they don't have enough finance, or they have the up and downs where they have to reduce the ballet company numbers, and so there will be a lot of changes in ballet that we have to follow and be careful, because we have now the war in Russia, Ukraine. We don't know what is going to happen in the next future or next year. And if the war, they find a peaceful solution, it's going to be okay. But if it's not a peaceful solution, it's going to be a revolution for all Europe and for all the world. But also it's going to affect the ballet world. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Many dancers of the Kiev Opera House, they had to escape from Ukraine, and they had to go in different countries of Europe or the United States. There are some artists who left Russia also for the war, which is a shame. Because I mean those two countries have great possibilities in art, and I'm sure that you take the two populations, the Russian and the Ukrainian, both of them, I mean, common people, not politicians, both of them, they still love each other, and they nearly have the same tradition. Maybe the language is a little bit different in the music, in dance, in folkloric dance, and nobody wants the war.
Yeah.
There's no need to do a war, which would be more simple to find a good solution for everyone, a peaceful solution for everyone. Today, in 2022, wars are not a solution for anyone, for any country, for all the world.
Yeah.
The consequences could be terrible. This is for the population, but also for art, because it affects art a lot. But you know, during World War II, which was a disaster for Europe, many artists of ballet, they had this possibility to move from one country to another, and while moving, their name became important because they were good dancers, and they became famous. They became very popular during the war. And this is what could happen also. So we have to adapt ourselves to any type of the event.
Yeah.
Because we don't know the future, what is going to tell us.
But now in education, it's very interesting that ballet is something where children do ballet when they are little, but the moment they get to older, they are older and the pressure becomes more, then ballet seems to be the activity where they just drop out, and ballet seems to be this almost it's not, the older they get, it's not anymore for enjoyment. It's more for trying to create dancers or so. That's the impression that you get sometimes. And do you think this is also something that needs to change, that people should be doing ballet without, and young children as well, without this idea of I'm doing ballet to become a ballet dancer. I'm just doing ballet because of the enjoyment, because of the love for the art?
I think you are completely right in what you're saying, but I would add another thing. Ballet should be open to everyone. either for the one who has the dream to become professional ballerina, professional dancer, and even for the one who doesn't want. There are many students who study 6 years, 7 years of ballet, or maybe 8 years, and afterwards they say, well, instead of continuing doing ballet, I will do contemporary, I will change. Or they will say, I stopped ballet and I will continue my university studies and I will become a doctor, I will become other works.
Yeah.
But I think that today, I'm referring to the big academies of dance. They should give the opportunity to open other branches instead of ballet. If I have a ballet student who I see that maybe she's doing progress, but she cannot dance properly on stage, maybe because her physique is not good for her for appearance on stage.
Yeah.
So I will try to give her a chance to see if she's able one day to become a ballet teacher.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Maybe she could become a good choreographer. Maybe she could become a good choreologist, a good repetiteur. But all those things are linked with ballet. So the students who are not succeeding in becoming a professional ballet dancer, maybe they could succeed much better in choreologist, in repetiteur, or as a ballet teacher. You see, it depends of each individual.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that everybody has to dance like Marianela Nunes or like Ozipova or Diana Vishneva.
Yeah.
No, nobody can dance like a Balishnikov. But you may have a good dancer who can give a good ballet class, and so he directs himself, the academy must direct himself to complete his ballet study and to start this new branch with success, because he could be useful. You see, in many ballet companies today, we have excellent dancers, excellent teachers, excellent pianists, choreographers, choreologists, but there are no creativity.
Mm.
There are no people like Marius Petipa. There are no people like Enrico Cecchetti, Balanchine. All those people are old names, but we want to see new names who can go up to the same level of Balanchine, of Marius Petipa, and who can create new ballet, full ballet with a story, with new costumes, with new music. Where are the composers?
Mm.
Composer like Tchaikovsky. Finish. So this is what is missing today in our days, and that we need, because this is the oxygen of art, the culture, of the dance, of ballet. This is what the ballet world needs today. This is my opinion. I might be wrong.
No, I think you are absolutely right, because I think it's sort of, I mean, taking a ballet school, which gives the opportunity for dancers to get this wonderful training, but it's so focused just on one thing that these children don't get a chance to be creative. They just so focused on technique and creating the best dancers.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, for example, if I take my daughter trained at the Royal Ballet School, and in their year that she started, I think there are only 2 or 3 who ended up becoming ballet dancers, although they all did this training and they all went through upper school. And then you ask yourself, why is that? Why is that these dancers who started off having the potential didn't end up being dancers or choreographers, or, like you say, ballet teachers?
Yes, and I agree with you. And sometimes you ask yourself so many questions when you see this situation, and it's difficult to find a reply because
Yeah,
artistic director of ballet companies, they are focusing themselves to promote dancers, to give a chance to dancers, but they also should give a chance to mm, promote ballet teachers, to promote new choreographers. With all respect that I have for the choreographies and the choreographers of today, which some of them are really very nice, but
mm,
it's not the same artistic level like the old ballet.
yeah,
Something missing. There's something, it's like when you are cooking and you forgot to put some ingredients in the food.
yeah,
So if you forget to put the salt, your food is going to have a strange taste. And
mm,
ballet is the same thing. If you don't use the right ingredients, there's something missing.
yeah. Well, there's a ballet teacher in America, in Los Angeles, Preston Lee, and he runs his whole ballet academy with people who are older dancers. Who are he's got a dancer, I think, at the age of 84. And these are all people who just come to ballet just for the love of ballet. And I think this is also needed, that ballet
Very
becomes,
much.
yeah, because I think there it's you start that appreciation for the art form and people understand what it's all about. And I mean, the people you can just see on his videos and things as well. The people just love what he's doing.
Yes, because also it gives them opportunity to have all of the experience of all those people together.
Yeah.
You see, because the elder people having a lot of experiences, all put together, they really make a wonderful world.
Yeah. Mm. No,
And
that's true.
uh, and I think that I hope that one day the world of ballet will understand that. But
Mm.
the main point is to make uh, understand this idea to the big academies and to the artistic directors of the companies.
Mm.
Because they have their own rules, they have their own nomenclatura of the ballet, they
Yeah.
have their own regime in the ballet company, even if each ballet company is different from one to another. But they have to follow this criteria. But
Mm.
they have to adapt themselves to add a little bit of more ingredients in their criteria.
Yeah.
To maybe it will enrich something new.
Mm. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mm.
But Jean-Pierre, this was so lovely to talk to you. And I just want to know, ask what are your wishes for the future for yourself?
Well, my wishes are first of all to find a country because I'm in Italy now, in Rome, but I'm not planning to stay here forever.
Mm.
I would like to find a peaceful place where I could teach and give this dream, this new idea to other young dancers and to other people who understand this, which is very difficult today. Because if you look to the map, the Google map, you say, I'm choosing this country. No, there are too many problems. I find this problem, there are too many problems. There is one, oh, no, 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 I don't want to hear that. So it's very difficult to find on a map, a country which is good for you.
Yeah.
So finally you say, okay, I wait and we see what is going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I wish your wish comes true, that you find a place where you can teach because you've got such lovely insights and it's inspiring to hear. And your page that you created with all these ballet pictures are wonderful and it's very inspirational. And I think it's a
I
great way of showing, and creating awareness.
I also created this page because I think you will agree with me. In Ballet International, I have set up some rules for the people who are members. And I know that I'm very severe in those rules. No GIF image, no comments on this, no comments on that. People who don't have a Facebook profile with all the data, they are not accepted, and I'm very strict on that. But also, through Ballet International, I want to give the idea that also the audience has to learn something. It's not only dancers.
Yeah.
You see, when you go to a theater today to see a performance, the dancers dance beautifully. The orchestra is wonderful. The sets are magnificent. But sometimes there is a lack how the audience behave in the auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
How people are dressed in the auditorium. You see? So this is what we must teach also to the audience, because the audience need to be taught again on the beautiful side and how to respect a performance and how to respect the performing art and the opera house.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
You cannot go to watch a performance with a t-shirt, you know. You have to be, there is a dress code that you have to respect when you go to auditorium. There is a code of dignity that you must have while you are watching performance. No, I don't say that everybody must have a sense of nobility. No, but you must behave like a human being. You are not going to the movie or to a restaurant and you can do what you want.
Yeah.
On an opera house, you have to behave in a certain way. And those are the rules of the opera house. And this is the type of rule that I'm trying to give in fingerprints in Ballet International. And it's very difficult because I have many people who left the group, who were not happy, but the ones who I have kept in the group are the selected one and are the one who are understanding why I'm applying these rules. And I think that slowly, it will take on many people and they will appreciate,
Well, it's always that saying that everything is not for everybody. So the people who would appreciate what you're doing would be acceptant of the rules. That is what it is. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you find this in every country, not only in Europe, you find also in South Africa. In South Africa, they have so beautiful theaters. From Johannesburg to Pretoria, the ex-state theater, in Durban, in Cape Town. And you have Mrs. Debbie Turner, who is the artistic director. She's doing a wonderful job in Cape Town. She's a really wonderful artist, but she's trying also to keep a certain discipline on the dancers and in the quality of the performance.
Yeah.
And this is very good. And also in Europe, you have the Netherlands Ballet doing a wonderful job. You have the Royal Academy of Dancing, who's doing a wonderful job. You have also the Russian, who are doing an excellent job. Everywhere, all the countries are doing an excellent job. And what is surprising is that also in Northern Africa, you find a lot of talent. Like Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Egypt, Palestine, Israel, Lebanon. You have plenty of talent in young people who are seeking the freedom of dancing. Some of them, they succeed, but many of them have to stop. And unfortunately, there is no chance given, because if you see the talent that they have, It's plenty.
Really? Yeah, we're not that much aware of those countries, and we sort of associate ballet with Europe and
Yes.
America and so on. Yeah.
And but I think one day the world is going to be all equal, in ballet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the more we talk about this and raise awareness of it, because if we don't talk about these things, then people don't understand or people don't think about it. So somebody has to plant the seed for it to grow and to spread. And I think this is this is what
I think that what we have said so far, you and me today, maybe could give an idea for tomorrow to other people who are listening to this Zoom conference that we are having today, because maybe this could bring or develop new ideas for the future.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. Jean-Pierre, I have just one more question to ask you.
Oh, you can ask all the questions you want. Don't worry.
I want to now know, where do you go for a lovely coffee in your where you live now in Rome? Is there a restaurant or a coffee shop that you visit?
There are many restaurants, many coffee shops.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, I cannot drink coffee. I can only drink. So I am a very bad client, because every time I go to a shop where everybody invites me to have a coffee, I said, I'm sorry, I cannot have a coffee. I will have a tea.
Okay.
You are going to have a tea. just go in England and drink England. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm used to tea. I'm not used to coffee, because when I drink the coffee, then my stomach is not
I see. Yeah.
all up and down.
Yeah, I've had
but the Italian coffee also is very strong.
Oh yeah.
You have a little bit of coffee like that. And but it wakes up even dead people from the cemetery. While French people in France, they make a long coffee with water and a little bit of coffee. So for the Italian, the French coffee is just disgusting. They prefer the Italian coffee with the espresso machine, that machine, but it's very, very strong. You see people who wake up from like zombies.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Do you eat cake, or where's your favorite restaurant then?
Sometimes I go to a restaurant just to have a little bit of pizza.
Oh, okay.
But I don't go to a restaurant because also it's very expensive. Restaurants are very expensive. If you want to go to a restaurant where it's not expensive, then the food quality is not really good.
Oh yeah.
So, but most of the time I prefer to cook at home.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
Yes, I don't cook like a chef, a French chef.
Oh, okay.
Just very simple things. I have my own ballet dancer the food regime that I kept since I was 20 years old. I mean, if you have to eat what I eat, after 1 week, you will say, look, just go away, because if I have to eat what you eat, I will fall down in the floor.
Really?
Because I eat very little and just the useful things, I eat rich food, and I'm not young, so I have to take care about the blood circulation, about the pressure and everything. And so I don't eat really funny things.
Okay,
Rice salad, with a lot of vegetables. Sometimes in summer now, when it's very warm, I just eat the Macedonia fruit, and orange juice and things like that. Then at night I have a salad with a little piece of meat, but it's very simple things. I mean,
but that's actually the healthy things, and it's tasty because you can then taste the food.
Yes, sometimes I do. Well, now for lunch I will prepare a little bit of pasta and a little bit of tuna fish
Oh, yeah.
and some olives. And this is it. I mean,
Yeah. Mm.
very simple. Some oil and lemon,
Yeah.
which is a
Oh,
simple thing.
wonderful. Yeah, but it sounds
I
amazing.
drink a lot of tea. Yes, I drink a lot of
Oh,
tea.
really? Jean-Pierre, this was so lovely to talk to you and so lovely to meet you on Zoom finally. And I hope
Yes,
one day when you come to Vienna that we meet in person.
yes, I would be so pleased, and we keep in touch.
Yes.
I do hope that our interview, because my aim is to encourage all artists of ballet to be creative and create new things, promote and help dancers.
Yeah.
This is the focus idea of our interview today. You know,
Mhm.
I'm not doing this interview with you just to show that I'm brave or that I'm good enough. No, I'm just doing this interview with you because it must sound like a message to all artists to be creative and to battle for the art and the culture of tomorrow. Because time flows very quickly. Tomorrow we are here together. Maybe one day I won't be here anymore, but I wish that people will remember my words in the future, that we must help new generation and love for the creativity of ballet.
I'm so happy that you said that. Really. Because this is really what it would be so wonderful if if your words can come true.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Okay.
This is thanks to you, and I feel very honored that you have given to me this great possibility to express myself and to talk with you, and also to talk to the other to people who are watching this interview.
Well, this was a great privilege for me as well.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Okay, Jean-Pierre. Have a
We keep
lovely
in touch.
afternoon. Yes, definitely. And enjoy your pasta.
Thank you.
Okay, Jean-Pierre.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.